On the evening of May 25, a fishing boat crashed into a jetty at Mesquite Beach, New York. The vessel was heading from Peconic Bay toward the Shinnecock Canal and lost control. The impact was so strong that the boat spun 180 degrees before hitting the shore. After that, the vessel ran aground, where it was found by emergency responders. Police from Southampton, the Coast Guard, and state officers arrived at the scene. 4 people were injured, including 2 teenagers and 2 adult passengers on the boat. A woman was airlifted to a hospital, and her condition remains unknown. 2 minors were taken to the hospital by ambulance for medical attention. 1 man was also injured and transported by local emergency services. Video footage shows a man being questioned, with loud music and wipers still running. The boat's windshield wipers continued working even after the vessel stopped. An investigation is underway as officials try to determine the cause of the crash. Authorities have not yet released details about what led to the serious incident. The beach is temporarily closed, and access to the jetty is restricted for inspection. Police are asking witnesses to come forward with any information or suspicions. Trump showed fake photo during meeting with South African president. At a recent meeting with South African President Cyril Ramaphosa, Donald Trump revived claims about violence against white farmers in South Africa. He stated that a genocide of whites was taking place and tried to present evidence. Trump showed a photo of dead bodies in a field, claiming they were murdered white farmers. However, it was later revealed the photo was actually taken in the Democratic Republic of Congo. The image showed a 2014 crime scene in DRC, unrelated to South African farmers. This raised serious concerns about disinformation and manipulation of facts, fake video and misleading data. Trump also presented a video showing white crosses placed in a field. He claimed it represented mass graves of murdered white farmers in South Africa. In fact, the footage showed a memorial installation for a single murdered farming couple. South African sources confirmed the video was misrepresented and used out of context. Trump has previously pushed similar claims of racially targeted killings in South Africa. These have been repeatedly debunked by human rights groups and South African officials. Official data contradicts Trump's claims. According to South African police, 44 murders occurred on farms in 2024. Only 8 of the victims were registered farmers, and most were black South Africans. This data contradicts the narrative of a targeted racial genocide against white farmers. Farm attacks do happen, but they affect people of all races and are not racially motivated. Ramaphosa's response and media backlash. President Ramaphosa calmly rejected Trump's accusations, calling them baseless and harmful. He emphasized that violence is a real issue but misrepresenting it hurts efforts to solve it. South African media and politicians condemn Trump's actions as racially manipulative. Analysts argue Trump is using these claims for political gain with his U.S. voter base. Immigration and Afrikaner asylum approvals. Despite the controversy, Trump's administration approved asylum for 50 white South Africans. These Afrikaners were accepted into the U.S. as humanitarian refugees fleeing violence. Critics claim this shows racial bias, as many other refugees have been rejected. They argue this move is political, not a genuine humanitarian effort. Trump says major prisoners swap between Russia and Ukraine just completed. It will go into effect shortly, U.S. President posts on Truth Social. U.S. President Donald Trump on Friday said a major prisoners swap between Russia and Ukraine was just completed. A major prisoners swap was just completed between Russia and Ukraine. It will go into effect shortly. Congratulations to both sides on this negotiation. The U.S. President posted on Truth Social. This could lead to something big. There was no immediate comment from Kiev or Moscow. But the two sides had reached an agreement on exchanging 1,000 prisoners of war, each during direct talks held in Istanbul last week. President Donald Trump has postponed the 50% tariff on European Union goods until July 9. It was originally planned for June 1 but was delayed to allow renewed negotiations. The decision followed a phone call between Trump and Ursula von der Leyen. Trump called the conversation very pleasant and noted von der Leyen's willingness to negotiate. He emphasized her readiness to quickly begin talks to resolve trade disagreements with the U.S. Previously, Trump criticized the EU for its tough stance and stalled negotiations. The leaders call reduced tensions and revived hopes for resolving the dispute. Both sides expressed readiness to move forward and reach a mutually beneficial agreement. Financial markets responded positively. The euro hit its highest level since April 30. European shares rose, especially in the automotive and luxury sectors, after the announcement. EU goods already face tariffs, 25% on steel, aluminum, and automobiles. If no agreement is reached, tariffs on European products could increase significantly. Despite progress in talks with Britain and China, negotiations with the EU have lagged behind. The delay is intended to provide time for resolving the dispute with the European Union. Both sides are working on a solution to avoid a possible transatlantic trade war. U.S. President Donald Trump expressed dissatisfaction with Vladimir Putin after Russia's massive attack on Ukraine. On the night of May 25, Russian forces launched around 300 drones and 70 missiles at Ukraine. The attack hit 13 regions, killing at least 12 people and injuring dozens more. Trump said, "I don't know what happened to him. He's killing a lot of people." He added that stronger sanctions against Russia are being considered in response to these actions. On Truth Social, Trump wrote that he always had a good relationship with Putin. However, he noted, something happened to him. He's gone crazy, killing people for no reason. Trump stressed that if Putin tries to take all of Ukraine, it will lead to Russia's collapse. He also criticized Ukrainian President Zelensky for his remarks, without specifying which ones. Trump stated, "I don't like it, and it has to stop."